hope you guys are ready to laugh about some fucking torture.
Torture!
Garrett and Emily are tired. Jeff's gonna be the only funny one. Ugh.
I'm here.
What?
And I'm here.
And
I'm
I'm What are you saying?
trying to think of a joke to make this funny.
Well, her name is Askew, so I feel like there are a lot of puns available on that.
We
Askew.
put her on the rack, and her whole body was askew.
That's true.
Wackety
All right.
schmackety doo.
It's true. Her back was askew.
Whackety schmackety Askew.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tutor I Hardly Know Her, the podcast about nothing.
And then we sleep.
I am.
That was
one of your
Seinfeld.
hosts.
Yeah,
I'm one of your hosts. My name is Garrett.
I'm another host. I'm Emily.
I'm not a host. I'm Jeffrey.
We really should change that. Sometimes Jeff drives this thing. We should just kind of confirm he is actually a host.
That's cute that you think that.
I don't want to let it go to his head.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want the producer's head getting too big.
That's one thing I learned about radio.
Then I like to interject just like random bits of myself into the podcast without anyone else knowing.
Exactly.
That sounds dirty.
No one knows how much of me is actually like filled in later.
So this is actually the Jeffrey Variety Hour. It's like 90% Jeff, and like occasionally you and I pop in, Garrett.
I'm doing this is our first best clip show. But it's all me. It's just gonna be the best of it's like when SNL does the greatest, like the best of Will Ferrell.
Can we do a
It's gonna
clip?
be the best of Jeff.
Can we do a clip show? Let's do a clip show.
Sure.
Okay.
Remember the time that we talked about Henry VIII? Anyway, yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about tutor stuff. And yeah.
For those who've never listened to us before, I'm not a historian. I just like this a lot.
Yep, we are not historians and we never claim to be.
And if
By
you're
the way, let's get this out of the way now. We launched a Patreon.
Hooray! And we already have some supporters, so fuck yeah, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for supporting us. And if you were unable to support us, it's totally fine. You're always going to get this podcast.
There is
Don't
no
worry about
obligation whatsoever.
Yeah.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Oh, don't say that. Don't
No,
say
that's
that.
awful. Jeff is everybody's dad.
Yep.
Yeah, we launched the Patreon, and if you want to check it out, you can. You can donate if you want, but if you don't, then we still love you, and we're still happy you're listening. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of an experiment for us and for you guys, and we'll see how it all goes. So you can check out the details on Patreon.
We've already hit our goal, what we were shooting for, which was admittedly pretty low. But the more money that we make, the more money we can invest back into the podcast, get better equipment, because I know everyone complains about your audio sucks.
It's better
Well,
now.
It's much better now.
I know everyone misses the beeping.
Yeah,
Beep.
if you guys donate at least $100 a month each, we will digitally add that beeping back.
I will single the beeping out and then just loop it. I will write messages and
Ooh, subliminal beat messages.
and Morse code.
Yeah.
It just repeats, "Help me, Jeff. Help me, Jeff."
But if you decide you wanna help us out and donate and become a patron, the lowest tier you can possibly give money for, $1. $1, not bad. And at the lowest tier and all tiers above, you get our bonus episodes, which so far has been bonus episodes recording commentary on movies and episodes of tutor-related shows.
Yep.
We're gonna branch out with that a little bit, but
Yep.
yeah, we're gonna make them fun and worth your while.
Yep.
We hope.
Yep. So
And if there's anything that you think is unfair, or you think like, oh well, this tier isn't really worth it, or like I'd like to donate but I just have some qualms about something, let us know. This is gonna evolve. This is gonna change. So yeah.
Yep. We're learning all this right now for the first time.
Yep. This is just as much a test for us as it is for
We will
us.
get to all of your questions as soon as we're done swimming in our Scrooge McDuck money pool.
If you ever dived in a pile of gold, it's not very comfortable.
I would love to.
I'd take the discomfort to dive
All right,
into.
quick question to you two and to everyone listening. If
But I'm
you
not
could fill
Bono.
a swimming pool with anything, what would it be? And you just get to dive into it and swim in it.
I feel like
Serious
Emily,
question.
I feel like Emily would be peanut butter.
Oh God, yeah. But like warm peanut butter, so then it's like
oh,
gooey
God.
and melty and.
Oh.
Okay, but wait. So yes, I would love to be like just all that peanut butter, but wasabi, real wasabi, only
Oh
because
hell no, girl!
because real wasabi is really fucking expensive. So I'd have to be rich to be able to jump into a pool of wasabi.
Are you
Peanut
gonna wear
butter's
goggles?
attainable. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I'm gonna like wear a fucking diving suit for that one.
I mean, if I was going to start with what I would like to not dive into, it'd be Legos.
Oh, that'd be real fun.
Okay, but what
That'd
would
be
you
so painful.
what would you dive into?
I don't know. That's just it. I think,
Peanut butter with me.
yeah, I guess.
Ranch
Yeah.
dressing.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine coming out of a pool of ranch dressing?
But it's
You're
not.
just dripping white.
And all your friends and family are like taking celery sticks and just kind of like wiping it off. Yeah. and-
It's like somebody with pizza just scraping it off.
Anyway,
What would you dive into, Gear?
probably chocolate.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
Jello.
Okay,
Jello,
wait, put
Jello
your-
for sure.
Jello would
Wait.
be fun because it's just so thick, and you just like you do like a cannonball, but you just stop like midway.
Wait, Garrett, can you put your chocolate pool next to my peanut butter pool and then
It becomes a Reese's pool.
no next to not like I mean there's a
Oh, my.
barrier.
Oh, Skittles.
Ooh.
I want to jump into
That-
Skittles.
That'd probably hurt too.
Hey listeners,
mean, not as
what
bad,
would
it's
you
not
guys
pointy.
jump into?
This is not tutor related. We just
Hey,
really are curious.
we're really tired and we get really off topic when we're really tired. So also I just realized I'm rocking back and forth, so you're probably hearing like
Yeah.
so I'll stop that. Do you guys want to get to the tutors?
Oh,
Yes,
This is about
please.
tutors, right?
Sure,
This is
yeah.
our show, tutors, and
We hardly know her.
and Garrett. Well, Garrett and I hardly know anything.
Yes, you do.
Where
guys
you
are
know everything.
Stupid. No, don't say that. Then
You
people
clearly know
will have
everything.
People will have high expectations, and then they'll tell me I suck. And I made the mistake of looking at some reviews recently. Ooh. So let's actually get to this non-historian fucking free podcast that everybody gets, regardless. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, we're gonna talk about a baller. She was a baller. She was a writer. She was a poet. She was friends with a queen who survived. And she was tortured and burned at the stake. We're talking about Anne Askew.
Askew.
Askew. I assume that's how you say her last name. I assume that's how you say her last name.
Well, it sounds like she lived a very nice full life.
Not quite so much. She was like 20 something when she was.
Oh, so that's a full life for them.
Yeah, that's like,
I mean,
that's
it's like 10 years
practically
shy.
geriatric.
Yeah, pretty much. So she was born in 1521. Her father was somebody who wasn't really important, so I didn't care to write it down.
Sir, not appearing in this story.
But one thing about her father was that he did continue the lovely Tudor era tradition of marrying your daughters to their sisters' widowers,
As you should.
as you should. So Jeff, as an FYI, if I die, you are legally obligated to marry one of my sisters.
And
It's
there's a
just-
lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep. So, just so you know, it's gonna happen.
Cool.
So her sister, I think her name was Martha or Marie or probably Mary. Let's just assume it was Mary. It was actually Martha. She died, and so she married her sister's husband, the wonderful Thomas Kyme. He was not wonderful. He sucked.
Thomas Kyme.
Kyme, Kyme, or maybe it's Kymie. Thomas Kymie.
Kian.
Thomas Kim. He's related to Kim Jong-un.
Tommy Kyme.
So, she was the ripe old age of 15.
Ooh.
Yet at 15, do you want to know what I
Gosh,
was
she's
sure?
so old then.
You want to know what I was sure of at 15? That
How
I was
amazing Used was.
that I was not emo, but The Used was a good band. I still
Ugh.
think they're a good band. Shut the fuck up. But I kept going on about how I wasn't emo, and I didn't like dress like emo. I wore like bright colors and shit, and I just had very emo, like Hawthorne Heights. Totally no lyrics
Oh,
to those
Emily,
songs. I know.
Oh,
no.
honey.
That's what I was sure of
honey.
at 15. Anne Askew was absolutely positive that transubstantiation was not a fucking thing. Do you guys know what transubstantiation is? Garrett, you should.
That's the thing McGonagall teaches.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Transubstantiation
it has
is
to do-
when the Eucharist, the wafers and the wine get turned to, as the Catholics believe, into the actual, true, honest to God, 100% blood
Literally.
and body of Christ.
Yes. But luckily, the miracle allows us to not taste that coppery tang of blood. So Anne was a
Look, we say it's Jesus, but it is Jesus, but it's not Jesus.
Well, Anne was a strict Protestant at 15, so I was jamming to some Ohio is for lovers, and she was jamming to some that's not the blood of Christ, you're fucking idiots.
Side note, is Jesus a Moscato or a Merlot?
Oh God, I bet
He's
you
a
he'd
Merlot,
probably
100%.
more of a Merlot. I bet you he's a Merlot. He's kind of for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, a Moscato is too sweet.
Yeah.
And cabs are too strong for people. So he's a nice, mellow Merlot. Jesus is a Merlot. Actually, I should ask my dad about that. He serves it at church. I wonder what kind of wine they get.
Box wine.
What's wrong with box wine?
Absolutely nothing.
It's easy to transport.
So, Anne was like really Protestant. She memorized Bible verses. She then started telling her village how fucking stupid all of them were for believing in transubstantiation.
Hat.
That's the most teenager thing you could do. Be like, you're fucking dumb. I know
I'm
everything.
smarter than everybody.
I'm smarter than all of you.
I'm a glob.
So the only problem was that her wonderful, sweet, adorable husband, Thomas Kimey, whatever, he was very Catholic. Okay. He was very Catholic, and so they weren't really big fans of each other. According to the article I was reading, their marriage was a fucking mess. So she did have 2 children before her husband threw her out of the house for being Protestant. So she gave 0 fucks because she was following her king's wonderful example and seeking a divorce. So when he threw her out of the house, she's like, peace out, bitches.
Honey, you're 13. You're too old to live here now.
So she moved to London. God, I was like delirious when I was writing this because I've got a bunch of references to Sex and the City in here.
So she went abroad.
So she went to London. London's not quite abroad. London's more of a man. So she moved. I'm really not fucking funny. So she moved to London and she hung out with all these other Protestants, including an Anabaptist, which I was reading in a book called The White. Oh shit! It was.
The white oh shit?
No. It's about the habits of birds. No, it was a book about King Charles. I have it on my Audible. Maybe The White King. It was The White King. So, an Anabaptist, basically really, they're just another flavor of Protestants, basically. So, she hung out with all those people. At that point, she was like, fuck Mr. Kim, whatever his name is. I'm keeping my maiden name. And then she started actually preaching to all of London about how they were fucking idiots for believing in transubstantiation.
Like preaching in like an official manner,
Like straight
or
up
preaching like she just
No,
like,
like straight.
like just in the middle of the street, just like, hey, transubstantiation ain't real. I don't believe this shit. It tastes like wine.
Probably a little bit of both.
She had written on a piece of cardboard while sitting in the corner of the streets, just yelling it.
It was like, you know what she did? She did like the Coke challenge, the Pepsi challenge, where she had a cup and
This
wine
doesn't
in
taste like
both.
Jesus at all.
Can you pick out which one is Jesus?
The blindfold test.
Exactly. No, but she was officially preaching. Like, she couldn't get like.
This tastes like new Jesus. I want classic Jesus.
Can I get some Crystal Jesus, please?
Oh God.
Um, so
Try new vanilla Jesus.
he's been new vanilla Jesus since like the Bible was written, Garrett. Let's be serious.
A Jesus free.
Jesus free.
Jesus freestyle machine.
Jesus zero.
All the salvation with none of the guilt.
Well, then it's not Catholic, so clearly Protestant. So she became a preacher. She was trying to get everybody to understand that they were being stupid. And
So
her ex.
What I'm imagining here is that she like tried it, and they're like, "Yes, that's Jesus' blood." She's like, "I don't believe you." She keeps trying it, trying to figure it out, but she's just drunk as fuck at this point. And then she's just like on a bender saying, "Hey, taste this."
I'm pretty sure
like
this is
blood,
wine.
does it?
That's like Jesus at
This is
all.
not Jesus.
Done shit's like Jesus.
That's exactly how it went down.
Rewriting history.
History, folks. Don't look it up.
Just trust us. This is how it happened.
Yeah.
So her ex was a super douche canoe, and even though he kicked her out, he had her arrested for preaching her Protestant beliefs, and she was brought back home. And he was like, "I know I kicked you out, but I own you." So, she was like,
Baby,
"Yeah."
I'm sorry. Let's give it another shot.
She was like, "Yeah, okay, fuck you," and she escaped. I don't know how she escaped, but I like to imagine some like middle of the night, her tapestries,
Pillow underneath the blanket.
yeah, tapestries sewn into a rope, shimmying down the window. It's totally probably how it happened. So, she escaped, went back to London, was arrested, and released.
I see where you go to first.
She's really bad at this escaping thing.
Well, she's good at escaping, just not staying escaped.
She could take some points from those kids that were kidnapped.
Kidnapped. So then 1546, not really a good year. And guys, remember, she was born in 1521, so she was like 25 years old. Oh, fuck, she's young. Oh, my God.
Yep.
So 1546 wasn't really a good year for Anne.
Is any year a good year for anyone?
Not when Henry was the king.
Yeah.
1547 when he died. Yes. So there was a little bit of court drama. Henry was still trying to reform the church, but also he needed some allies. So Stephen Gardiner, who is one of his lackeys basically, was telling him, "Hey, you really should stop with the Reformation stuff so that we can be besties with Emperor Charles.
Could you please?
Could you just tone it down?" So, because Emperor Charles was uber Catholic, and of course he wasn't going to be like, "Yes, of course I'll be allies with you while you're burning Catholics and all that shit." So,
Sounds like a plan.
so let's just calm down the reform a little bit. So Henry was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, give me chicken." And then Stephen Gardiner took that as approval to just fuck shit up. So he took it on himself to start rounding up evangelicals that were linked to Thomas Cranmer. So Thomas Cranmer, they're like opposite ends of the spectrum, basically. Gardiner, Catholic; Cranmer, Protestant. Not officially one or the other. They're all, under Henry's shit. But he still wanted to kind of like go against Thomas Cranmer. And also he was not fans of Catherine Parr. So he started gathering up people in what was, I'm not kidding, this is a quote that I got from my source, which is Wikipedia. It was legally bizarre and clearly desperate, which I feel like is really...
That is the name of my autobiography.
I think that's the United States of America's tagline since 2016. Legally bizarre and clearly desperate.
That is beyond perfect.
It really is. I love it. So, Anne was arrested because she was kind of linked to a link to a link to a link of Thomas Cranmer. Her brother had to do with him. So for 12 days, she was in prison. They were questioning her. And then her lovely cousin came in and was like, I'll post bail. So she posted bail. She was free for a little bit and then immediately imprisoned again. I mean, like, within days, immediately imprisoned.
Classic.
This time things didn't turn out too well. She was tortured. And fun fact, she was one of only 2 women ever tortured in the Tower of London.
Really?
Yes, the other women were the ones tortured by Henry VIII's marriage. So, yeah.
Whackity schmackity doo.
So, the examiners included Stephen Gardner and a man named Richard Rich, which, trust me, one day we will get to a Richie Rich episode. They tortured her in an attempt to get her to confess to being a Protestant and also name other Protestants. Ideally, naming Catherine Parr, because obviously Stephen Gardner didn't want her in any sort of power role. However, our lovely, lovely Anne Askew refused. So they were like, we're going to torture you now. So they put her on the rack. Do you guys remember what the rack does?
Oh, yeah. It gives you a good stretching.
A little bit more than
When
a
you get that little
stretch.
crink in your back, it helps you with that.
When you get a kink in your back, they put you on the rack. It's like the clap on, clap off.
Oh, God.
It's the new Shark Tank idea.
It was one of those, like,
you know what?
TV commercials.
You know what? The rack is brutal, but kudos to Anne Askew for not snitching.
Oh my God, yeah, she knew snooches get stitches.
If I was getting tortured, I would sing like a fucking canary, dude. Like, no way.
Yeah, but
They
Garrett,
wouldn't even get you to the rack. You'd just be already like, all right, is that person, this person, this is where they'll meet. Here's their home address, their phone numbers, and their blood types if you want that in
We'd
case.
s-
Don't ask
we'd
me how I
s-
got it.
we'd sing like Steve in Stranger Things. So they put her on the rack, and on the rack, she was stretched so much that her hips and shoulders popped out of their sockets, and her knees and elbows were dislocated. Her fucking elbows, guys. Dislocated.
On the plus side, she could play for the Harlem Globetrotters.
She's now in the Cirque du Soleil.
Listen, if there's anything I learned from cartoons, this will help me reach the high places I've been trying to get to.
She is the new Mr. Fantastic.
No, holy shit, that must have hurt like a motherfucker.
I can't even imagine. Her screams were heard by the people who, the guy who was in charge of the tower. His wife and her daughter heard it from.
Hey, can you keep it down?
Just has a broomstick.
Try to sleep in here.
So she was returned to her cell, which, okay, hold on, guys. She has like no body parts attached to the parts they're supposed to be attached to. And yet she somehow managed to write down her experience. That's why we know this much.
With her teeth.
With her with my left foot.
Her arm was so long now, it could reach the table off to the side.
So, she wrote about her experiences, and those have been published, and I think it was really just called The Experiences or something like that. So we know a lot about that. Afterwards, though, everything else came from other sources because she was condemned to burn for heresy. So her body had been so broken apart and she was in so much pain that she couldn't walk to the stake to be burned. They had to carry her on a chair. And then when they attached her to the stake, they actually had to have like a little stool next to the stake, and they tied her to the stool and to the stake.
I was just thinking, they must have had that like a really long stick to match.
What?
I just imagine them. They're like one poor guard just like putting up on the stake, just imagining like he can prop her up there, but she just like falls over limp. Like every time he turns his back.
Yep, that's probably exactly what happened. So they like chained her ankles, hands, feet, like everything. She was just
like she was going to go anywhere.
It was like a Roadrunner cartoon. Like just straight up chains the enther way down.
I it's like they did like, we gotta make sure she doesn't escape. Well, she can barely fucking walk, so
It's just really gotta make sure this has happened. So if
it's
you,
like tying Bran up. It's not really gonna do anything.
So, if you guys ever saw The Tudors, which I don't think either of you got this far, but in the show The Tudors, it shows her being tortured and oh my god, it's brutal. They show her being tortured and her burning, and a Protestant woman in the show has the executioner put gunpowder in a bag around her neck
Holy shit.
because
That's dope.
it would end the suffering sooner.
Wait, I think we've heard this story before. Like you probably brought up once before with the gunpowder and everything.
I've probably mentioned gunpowder helping.
But I mean, I think people have done this before in many other
Maybe.
instances.
I swear I thought I talked about Anne Askew before.
You probably
but-
brought up her in like one portion of her life.
Oh, wait. I think I mentioned her in our episode about martyrs.
Murder.
Oh, yup. We made that joke before. Oops. Sorry, guys. Either way. So, interestingly, as she was being licked by flames, a bishop was there preaching to them, and he's like, you guys are wrong. Repent. Here's my whole thing about why you're wrong. Whenever he said anything that Anne was like, yes, I agree, she would, in the middle of being burned, be like, yes, I agree. But if he ever said anything that she disagreed with, she would vocalize, like, full sentences, like, nope, you're wrong,
You're wrong. Oh fuck, this hurts.
as she's dying, as she's being killed. Apparently, she didn't utter any sort of pain until the flames were at her chest. So, and then she died, and she was a martyr.
What? She died?
I know. What?
What?
It's so surprising.
And she was only 27, you said?
25.
25
Yeah.
when she died? Jesus.
Yep, and actually, I think she was executed in July, and that's why I thought of this, was because it was recently her death anniversary. Let me find it. Nope. Mr. Bean. Nope. There we go. On this day. Nope. That's wrong. Yeah, either way, she died in July of 1546. So that was not a good time for her. Sorry, I repeated an episode.
Oh, how dare you?
I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh no.
I know. I suck. I knew I'd read this shit before. But you guys don't remember, and I think
Nope.
I got more details about it this time.
Well, this was more focused on her.
Yes, it is. So, the Protestants viewed her as a martyr for their cause, and she's still seen as such. So it's not like she was just like going crazy. But can you imagine being 25 years old and being like, yes, I'm willing to die for this? Millennials nowadays would just die for their avocado toast. That was such a cheap joke. I don't even like
I'm
avocado
30, have
toast.
nothing to live for, and I wouldn't die for anyone or anything.
I would die for one person. You're never
Well,
gonna know.
you've got
Yeah,
two
that-
very important people in your life, so you better make that choice now.
You guys can die. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and die. It's okay.
No, it's fine. You got go ahead. Yeah. So that's Anne Askew.
Askew.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So when she was on the rack, she got kind of put into an askew.
The rack askewed her.
Yeah, Askew just sounds like it was like a funny, cute title that they gave her later.
Hey guys, what if we called her Anne Askew now?
Well, it's like alliterative.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Hey, good timing. Baby just woke up.
Yep.
So, that's
Bastard.
it for Anne Askew.
All right, well, Emily, thank you. I'm sorry if we already went over this again, but
Whatever. You guys don't remember. I don't remember, so
Remember what?
we'll get better about it next time. Speaking of, find us on. Wait, that was a terrible segue. But find
Wow.
us on.
That was like the
Speaking
Razzies of segues.
Thanks. Speaking of,
you get the Paul
next
Blart
time.
Award for bad segues.
Thank you. Find us on Twitter
Look,
at.
everyone, the info may be old, but the jokes are all new, baby.
Oh, find us on Twitter at Tudor Know Her. Find us on Facebook at Tudor I Hardly Know Her. You can find us on Patreon now at Tudor I Hardly Know Her.
You can email us.
You can email us tudorknowher@gmail.com. You
Find me
can
on Friendster, LinkedIn,
MySpace.
Foursquare.
MySpace, Zenga. You can find me on Zenga. And that's
You can
it.
find me on Till Next Time.
Divorce, beheaded, died.
Divorce
Beheaded,
beheaded survived.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
motherfucker.